Ladies and gentlemen, life is a journey. And at the center of this journey is a longing to connect with something greater than ourselves. This connection isn't something abstract or distant, it's within our grasp. Today, let's talk about 10 practical things that can bring us closer to God. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces in life, and it's the foundation for connecting with God. When we cultivate a genuine sense of thankfulness, we shift our focus from what's missing to what we already have. This shift is transformative. It opens our eyes to the beauty and blessings around us, many of which we often take for granted. The air we breathe, the meals we enjoy, the people we love, and even the challenges we face, all of these are opportunities to experience life fully and to grow spiritually. Living with gratitude means pausing to recognize that nothing in our lives is purely by chance. Everything, no matter how small, comes from a higher source. By acknowledging this, we foster humility, which is key to drawing closer to God. Gratitude is not just about saying thank you in moments of joy, but also about finding reasons to be grateful even in adversity. When life gets tough, gratitude allows us to see struggles as lessons and hardships as stepping stones to growth. The practice of gratitude is active. It requires us to intentionally reflect on the good in our lives each day. Some find it helpful to keep a journal, writing down a few things they're grateful for. Others might begin their day in prayer, thanking God for another chance to live and grow. Regardless of the method, the result is the same: a heart that feels full, content, and ready to connect with the divine. When we embody gratitude, we create a space where God can dwell. It's a powerful reminder that life is not just about what we receive, but how we honor the source of those blessings. Gratitude transforms ordinary moments into sacred experiences. Discipline is the cornerstone of a meaningful spiritual life. To grow closer to God, we must intentionally create space in our daily lives for spiritual connection. This isn't about waiting for the right mood or moment, it's about commitment and consistency. Discipline means prioritizing what truly matters, even when life feels chaotic or overwhelming. Setting aside time daily to connect spiritually doesn't have to be complicated. It could be as simple as a few minutes in the morning where you sit quietly, reflect, and center your mind on God. It might be through prayer, meditation, reading spiritual texts, or simply expressing gratitude for the day ahead. The method is less important than the act itself. What matters is that you show up every day with sincerity and an open heart. Discipline is like planting a seed. At first, it may feel like a small, insignificant act, but over time, with regular care and attention, it grows into something profound and life-changing. The more you commit to this daily practice, the more you'll notice its impact, not just in moments of spiritual connection, but in how you approach everything in life. You'll find greater clarity, peace, and a deeper sense of purpose. This practice also strengthens your relationship with God. Just as you build trust and intimacy in human relationships through regular communication, the same applies to your spiritual relationship. By dedicating time each day, you show devotion, faith, and a genuine desire to grow closer. Discipline is not restrictive, it's liberating. It creates a sacred rhythm in your life, ensuring that no matter how busy or challenging your day is, you have a moment to connect with something eternal and unchanging. Kindness is a direct reflection of our connection to God. It's in the way we treat others that we demonstrate our understanding of divine love and compassion. Every act of kindness, no matter how small, creates ripples that extend far beyond the moment. When we show love and compassion to others, we are not just making their lives better, we are honoring the sacredness of their existence and acknowledging the divine within them. Kindness is not limited to grand gestures. It's in the smile you offer a stranger, the patience you show in a frustrating situation, and the understanding you extend to someone going through a hard time. These seemingly simple actions have the power to uplift spirits, bridge divides, and inspire hope. When we make kindness a habit, we open our hearts to a deeper awareness of God's presence in the world around us. Compassion is an essential part of kindness. It's about stepping into someone else's shoes, feeling their pain, and responding with empathy. This doesn't mean solving all their problems, but it does mean being there, offering support, encouragement, or even just a listening ear. In moments of compassion, we embody God's love, becoming vessels of healing and peace for those who need it. True kindness also extends to how we treat ourselves. It's hard to pour love into others if we are running on empty. By practicing self-compassion, we ensure we have the emotional and spiritual energy to give generously to those around us. When we commit to living with kindness, we align ourselves with God's greatest command to love. Through love and compassion, we create connections that bring us closer to each other and to the divine. In these moments, we truly live out our spiritual purpose. Faith is the anchor that keeps us steady in the storms of life. It is the unwavering trust in God's plan, even when the path ahead seems unclear or challenging. In uncertain times, faith is not about having all the answers. It's about believing that there is a purpose and direction to everything we face, even when we cannot see it. Trusting in God's plan requires surrender, not the kind of surrender that gives up, but the kind that releases control and acknowledges that there is a higher wisdom at work. It is about accepting that while we may not understand every twist and turn, there is a reason behind it all. Faith reminds us that even in the darkest moments, we are never alone, and that every experience, whether joyful or painful, is part of a greater story. Faith does not eliminate fear or doubt, it transcends them. It's what allows us to move forward even when we feel uncertain. When we lean into faith, we find strength we didn't know we had. It encourages us to persevere, to keep hoping, and to trust that brighter days are ahead. Faith transforms challenges into opportunities for growth and deepens our relationship with God. In times of uncertainty, faith also teaches us patience. It reminds us that God's timing is perfect even if it doesn't align with our expectations. By trusting in His plan, we develop resilience and peace, knowing that everything happens for a reason and in its right season. Faith is a choice we make every day. It's a decision to believe in the unseen, to trust in the unknown, and to hold on to hope when it's easiest to let go. Through faith, we draw closer to God, finding comfort and purpose in His divine plan. Service is one of the most profound ways to connect with God because it allows us to act as His hands in the world. Helping those in need is more than just a good deed. It is an act of devotion, a demonstration of love, and a reflection of the divine compassion within us. When we serve others selflessly, we align ourselves with God's purpose and bring His light into the lives of those who need it most. True service comes from the heart. It isn't about recognition or reward. It's about offering help simply because it's the right thing to do. Whether it's providing food for the hungry, lending a hand to someone struggling, or even offering words of encouragement to a person feeling lost, every act of service has the power to uplift and inspire. Through these moments, we remind others and ourselves that no one is ever truly alone. Serving others also teaches us humility. It shifts our focus away from ourselves and onto the needs of those around us. It helps us recognize the interconnectedness of humanity and the truth that when we lift someone else, we also lift ourselves. By stepping into someone else's world, even briefly, we gain perspective and a deeper appreciation for the blessings in our own lives. Service is also a way to express gratitude to God for all that we have been given. When we share our time, resources, or energy with others, we honor God's gifts by using them to make a difference. Each act of kindness becomes a prayer in motion, a living expression of our faith and devotion. Ultimately, service is a bridge that connects us not only to those we help, but also to God. In serving others, we fulfill a sacred calling, becoming vessels of His love and grace in the world. Self-reflection is a vital practice for anyone seeking a closer relationship with God. It's the process of looking inward, examining our actions, thoughts, and intentions, and asking whether they align with the higher values we strive to uphold. In the quiet moments of introspection, we create space to connect with the divine, understand ourselves more deeply, and grow in our spiritual journey. To reflect honestly requires humility. It's about acknowledging where we've fallen short, where our actions may have strayed from our values, and where we can improve. This is not about judgment or guilt, it's about growth and transformation. Self-reflection shines a light on the areas of our lives that need healing, correction, or renewal, and it empowers us to take responsibility for our choices. Through self-reflection, we also uncover our strengths and recognize the progress we've made. It reminds us of the moments we've acted with kindness, integrity, and faith, encouraging us to continue walking in alignment with those principles. Reflection allows us to celebrate the good while committing to doing better in areas where we may have faltered. Aligning our actions with higher values is an ongoing process. It requires setting aside time regularly to pause and evaluate: are we living with honesty, compassion, and purpose? Are we treating others with the love and respect they deserve? Are we using our talents and resources to serve and uplift? These questions guide us back to the path of righteousness and deepen our connection to God. Self-reflection is not a one-time act, it is a lifelong practice. Each time we engage in it, we refine our character and draw closer to the divine. By aligning our actions with higher values, we become truer to ourselves and more in tune with the spiritual purpose we are called to fulfill. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful tools we have in our spiritual journey, yet it can be one of the most difficult to practice. Holding on to grudges and resentment can weigh heavily on our hearts, clouding our judgment and blocking the peace we seek. Forgiveness, however, is not just for the person who has wronged us, it's a gift we give ourselves. By releasing negative emotions and choosing to let go, we create room for healing, growth, and a deeper connection with God. When we hold on to anger or resentment, we carry the burden of past hurt with us, often without realizing how much it affects our present. It can distort our ability to see things clearly, making it harder to love and be at peace. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing the actions of others, nor does it necessarily mean forgetting the hurt that was caused. It means choosing to release the grip of those emotions, letting go of the power they have over us, and deciding to move forward without being chained to the past. Choosing forgiveness is an act of immense courage and strength. It requires us to acknowledge our pain, face it head on, and then decide not to allow it to define us. This doesn't happen overnight, and it's not always easy, but the freedom that comes with it is profound. The moment we release our grudges, we free ourselves from the emotional weight we carry. Forgiveness is also a reflection of divine love. God forgives us for our shortcomings, offering us grace and compassion despite our flaws. In extending forgiveness to others, we mirror this divine attribute. It draws us closer to God because it requires us to embody His mercy and to trust in His plan for healing and restoration. Ultimately, forgiveness is about freedom. It's about letting go of the past so we can step into the future with a heart full of peace, understanding, and love. In forgiving, we draw nearer to God and open ourselves to the transformative power of His grace. Humility is a key virtue that brings us closer to God. It involves recognizing that life is bigger than ourselves and that we are part of something far greater than our individual desires and achievements. Humility is about understanding our place in the world and acknowledging that everything we have and everything we are is a gift. It shifts our focus from self-centeredness to a broader perspective, where we see our lives as interconnected with others and with a divine purpose. In a world that often values power, success, and recognition, humility stands as a quiet but powerful reminder that true greatness comes from serving others and embracing the inherent value in all people. Humility allows us to see that no matter how much we achieve or how high we rise, we are all part of the same human experience. We are all vulnerable, imperfect, and in need of grace. Recognizing this keeps us grounded, preventing us from becoming prideful or disconnected from the reality of our shared existence. When we embrace humility, we let go of the need for constant validation and recognition. We learn to appreciate the contributions of others and to celebrate their successes as much as our own. Humility frees us from competition and comparison, allowing us to focus on what truly matters: our relationships, our purpose, and our connection to God. Moreover, humility draws us closer to God because it requires us to submit our will to His. It's an acknowledgement that we do not have all the answers and that we trust in a higher plan. Humility is the antidote to arrogance and self-sufficiency. It invites us to lean on God's wisdom and guidance, knowing that His understanding surpasses our own. In practicing humility, we open our hearts to God's presence and grace, and in doing so, we become vessels of peace, understanding, and love. Humility reminds us that life's true meaning lies not in our accomplishments, but in our ability to live in harmony with others and in alignment with the divine. Learning is an essential practice that brings us closer to God, as it allows us to deepen our understanding of His will and purpose for our lives. Gaining wisdom through scriptures and spiritual teachings is not just about acquiring knowledge, but about transforming that knowledge into action, shaping the way we live and interact with the world. When we dedicate ourselves to learning, we open our hearts and minds to divine insights that guide us toward righteousness and spiritual growth. Scriptures are rich with timeless wisdom, offering lessons on how to live a life of faith, compassion, and purpose. The more we immerse ourselves in these sacred texts, the more we begin to understand the deeper truths about life, human nature, and God's plan. Every passage, every story, and every verse offers a new perspective and invites us to reflect on how we can live more faithfully. Through learning, we come to realize that spiritual wisdom is not static. It is a living, breathing force that evolves and deepens over time. Spiritual teachings from wise mentors, religious leaders, and spiritual communities further enrich our understanding. They provide guidance, support, and clarity, helping us navigate the challenges of life with a greater sense of purpose. These teachings remind us that wisdom is not only found in scriptures but in the lived experiences of others. Learning from those who have walked the spiritual path before us allows us to avoid common pitfalls and take more intentional steps toward growth. The act of learning itself brings us closer to God by fostering a deeper relationship with Him. It encourages curiosity, humility, and a willingness to seek the truth. As we gain wisdom, we begin to see the world and our place in it from a divine perspective, leading to greater peace, understanding, and a stronger connection to our Creator. Through learning, we are constantly transformed, drawn ever nearer to the divine, and equipped to live out our spiritual calling. Consistency is a powerful key to building and maintaining a strong connection with God. It's easy to become caught up in the rush of daily life, but when we make connecting with God a regular, unwavering practice, we set the foundation for spiritual growth and transformation. Consistency in our spiritual practices keeps us grounded, focused, and aligned with our purpose. To make connecting with God consistent means prioritizing it above all else. It's about committing to daily moments of prayer, reflection, or meditation, regardless of how busy or difficult life becomes. This is not about perfection or always feeling spiritually on, but about showing up regularly and putting in the effort, no matter the circumstances. By doing this, we cultivate a deeper sense of peace and purpose, knowing that we are nurturing our relationship with the divine. Consistency builds spiritual resilience. When we make God a regular part of our daily routine, we create a rhythm that helps us navigate challenges with faith and confidence. In times of trouble, we lean on the habits we've built, trusting that our connection with God will provide the strength and guidance we need. Just as we nourish our bodies with regular meals, our spirits need consistent care to thrive. Spiritual consistency also deepens our awareness of God's presence in our lives. Over time, the more we make space for Him, the more we become attuned to His voice, His guidance, and His love. What starts as a conscious effort becomes an integrated part of who we are. Through regular practice, we invite God into every area of our lives, allowing Him to shape our decisions, relationships, and actions. In the long run, consistency strengthens our faith. The more we connect with God, the more we come to trust in His plan and His timing. By making this practice unwavering, we open ourselves up to deeper growth, transformation, and intimacy with the divine. In conclusion, the path to a closer relationship with God is built through intentional actions. By practicing gratitude, discipline, kindness, faith, service, self-reflection, forgiveness, humility, learning, and consistency, we align our lives with divine purpose. These are not mere habits, they are pathways to spiritual growth and transformation. As we cultivate these qualities, we draw nearer to God, experiencing His love, wisdom, and guidance in every area of our lives. Through these practices, we become vessels of peace, compassion, and understanding, living a life that reflects the divine presence within us. Let's commit to walking this path with purpose and devotion.